This first one is from David Leitnick by the community. He says, "Hello MBers," which, by the way, is apparently just our official name. So if you're an MB member, you are an MBer. And lots of people are using that now. I got no problem with it. I just thought, I don't know, I remember I was chatting to my uncle, and he's like a marketing guy, and he was like, "Oh, maybe you should call everyone the Dragons." And I was like, that sounds cool, but I don't know if everyone's going to be down with that. The Dragons. I don't know. What do you guys think? Give me some feedback, please. I like MBers. That's fine. It's kind of cute. Works for me, but maybe, I don't know. Do you reckon we can think of anything else? Send us an email or send a message in the community there if you have any ideas. Anyway, David says, "I have a question concerning memory palaces, namely memory palace clutter and memory palace claustrophobia. Have you ever found you've needed to put something in your memory palace, but there are still mnemonic images in all the loci, I think it's loci, I'm pretty sure, not loci. For example, in my childhood home memory palace, every place in every room for the third tone has something there that hasn't gone into my long-term memory yet. If I put something new there, it will overwrite the older mnemonic image I still need. I could squeeze the newer image into a corner, but it either A, interferes with the older image, or B, gives the mnemonic room a cramped, cluttered quality and increases the cognitive load. Does anyone have any suggestions?" I didn't actually see what answers. I just saw the question and I put, oh, that'd be great to put number one on the podcast, because it's such an interesting challenge and it's easily overcomable as well. If you consult, by the way, if you have questions, like more in-depth questions about memory palaces and things like that, we know quite a bit about them. We've got a lot of experience with memory palaces, but the actual memory athletes hang out on a very well-known forum in that community called Art of Memory, or the Art of Memory forum. So if you have a question like that, feel free to ask us and you'll get a great answer, or we'll do our best. But those are the guys that are the real professionals. Those are the guys that are either memory athletes or they have taken this skill, this memory palace skill very far. So just I don't know if it's Art of Memory forum or the Art of Memory forum, but it's one of those. Go and check that out. But I actually go on there fairly often, and I did sort of look up this challenge because Phil and I, we did this ourselves. We did the method. I personally learned 3,000 characters in 6 months using this method. Phil had already learned a few characters, but he learned at least a couple of thousand using the method. And we would occasionally find this issue when we were learning, like, say, 10 shis in a row, or like, you learn 30 characters and like 20 of them have the same pronunciation. So you're in the same place to learn all these different characters, or even the same room in a lot of cases. Yeah, same room. But we overcame it very easily, and I'll tell you how. I'll address it sort of point by point here. So first of all, if I put something new there, it will overwrite the older mnemonic image I still need. Now that's technically true, right? Loci is supposed to be one spot, but this is one great tip that I saw in this forum that I mentioned, which is you can zoom in. There's infinite loci. The major problem these professionals have is not, I run out of space to put my loci. I don't have anywhere to put it, because they can just zoom in. And then, so instead of saying, there's one, the bathtub is one spot, you zoom in, you've got 4 corners of the top of the bathtub. You've got all along the side of the bathtub. So that's another 4 or 5 for each side. Inside the bathtub, zoom in, you've got 4 corners of the inside of the bathtub and the center, at least, right? So that it goes on and on. But you should, zoom in one level. That's all you should need, really. So that sort of solves that problem. The problem that the professionals have is how to access. So if they're using, they need to use multiple memory palaces they don't just want to retrieve one piece of information. They want to work with multiple pieces of information to solve a problem. Then that's a challenge, because the working memory is only so powerful. So they're limited by that. But you won't have that problem with this method because you're not a medical student trying to solve a medical issue and you have to think of 4 different aspects or 5 or 10. You can just, oh, where's my character? Oh, it's in this room. Done. There's one location. He says, I could squeeze the newer image into a corner, but it interferes with older images. So another thing about this is that your stories or scenes, your movie scenes that you're creating, they only need to be there as long as it takes to get the character into your long-term memory. And once it's there, which takes a few months, you don't really need to, you can sort of replace that loci with something else if you want. But again, with the issue that I've already sort of solved that issue for you with my previous bit of advice, so you wouldn't really need to worry about that. And yeah, I can understand there being a cluttered quality, but remember, you go into that room, you're only supposed to be focusing on that one loci within that room. So try not to conjure up all the other memories that you have with the other people or actors from your other characters. But that would be my advice. I get it though. We've had that issue. Like Phil, his apartment in Chengdu is incredibly small, and the bathroom was obviously really small, and so he would sometimes comment on that. But he would just like, oh, I'll just make an extension. I'll just my friend's place, which is across the hall, in that apartment complex. That's also 4th tone. Okay, done. Move on. And it would only be a temporary issue anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that, David. But hopefully my zooming in idea sort of helps to solve that for you.